Hey everybody, this is Nicholas, and we are talking about the category herbs that warm the interior and expel cold. Like the name suggests, these herbs are warm in nature, and their primary function is dealing with cold inside the body. Now, cold has a tendency to contract, to congeal, to slow things down, to cause stagnation. We can even have certain pain conditions due to cold stagnation. So the kind of signs and symptoms we're going to see with coldness depends on where it is in the body. When cold is in the lung, that cold is going to congeal the fluids and create phlegm. That phlegm is going to be copious, thin, clear or white, and even be foamy or bubbly or stringy. When cold enters the spleen, we're going to see digestion problems, things like abdominal pain, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, and that diarrhea is going to be thin, watery, and without a foul smell. Cold in the kidney is going to cause urination problems. When kidney yang fails in its function of transforming the fluids, we're going to get frequent, profuse, clear urination. On the other hand, we can also have urine retention. What's happening here is a cold pathogen is obstructing the lower jiao and blocking the smooth flow of urine out of the body. So we end up with urinary retention. Like we said, cold can also cause stagnation and pain. So cold in the liver is going to cause blood stagnation, leading to things like painful menses, that fixed, sharp, stabbing pain that's characteristic of blood stagnation. Remember also that the liver channel runs up the leg and wraps around the external genitalia. So cold in the liver channel can also cause hernia pain or pain and contraction of the testicles, something we call Shan disorder or mounting disorder, bulging disorder. A more serious condition of coldness is something in Chinese we call Tuo syndrome or yang collapse or yang desertion. This is a condition of extreme coldness, cold limbs, fatigue, curling up into the fetal position, or even certain Shen problems. So some of the herbs in this category are good for treating this condition, this Tuo syndrome. We say they warm the original yang, or as Bensky says, they rescue devastated yang. So herbs with this function of warming original yang, treating Tuo syndrome, we say they enter the heart channel. Then we can also have cold in the channels with symptoms like cold extremities, cold hands and feet, or pain or B syndrome due to cold stagnation. The pulse is of course going to be slow or tight, and the tongue is going to be pale or even blue. So common features of the herbs in this category, of course the temperature is going to be warm or even hot, and the taste is going to be acrid. Remember, the function of the acrid flavor is to disperse. So here we're making use of the acrid flavor's ability to disperse cold. The common function here is of course going to be to warm the interior, but what we want to pay attention to is which herbs warm which systems. And that's going to determine what the entering channels are. If an herb warms the spleen, it's going to enter the spleen channel. If an herb warms the kidney, it's going to enter the kidney channel. If an herb rescues devastated yang, then it's going to enter the heart channel. Things like that. Cautions and contraindications we want to keep in mind. Because these herbs are very warm or even hot, they may cause heat signs. And because the taste is acrid, they may also cause dryness. So use caution in cases of yin deficiency or blood deficiency. So now on to the actual herbs themselves. The first three herbs are what we call the three hot herbs in Chinese medicine. These are some of the warmest herbs in our materia medica. But with each herb, what we want to pay attention to is, number one, within its category function, what is this herb's specialty? So all of these herbs warm the interior, but what makes each one special? Is it particularly good at treating vomiting, or does it rescue collapsed yang? Things like that. Number two, what we want to know is, besides warming the interior, what else does it do? What other special functions make this herb useful? So the first of our three hot herbs is Zhifutze. Now the first thing to know about this herb is that it's hot, acrid, and toxic. This is aconite, which is toxic in its raw form. So this herb is prepared by cooking it with ginger juice, and then it becomes Zhifutze. But even in its prepared form, we still have to follow this special instruction of cooking it longer than the rest of the decoction in order to eliminate the rest of its toxicity. So the entering channels here pretty much line up with its functions. It enters the kidney channel because it warms the kidney, it enters the spleen channel because it warms the middle jiao, and it enters the heart channel because it warms the original yang to treat that Tuo syndrome. It also warms the channels for pain due to coldness and for B syndrome due to coldness. So that's Futsa. Next up is Donjon Dry Ginger. This is one of our best herbs for warming the middle jiao. In fact, our main formula for treating cold in the middle is called Li Zhongwan, regulate the middle pill. And ganjiang is the chief herb in this formula, so ganjiang is very important for warming the spleen and stomach. Common with Futsa, this herb also warms the original yang to treat yang collapse. In fact, our formula for treating devastated yang is called Si Tang, frigid extremities decoction. It only has 3 ingredients, Futsa, ganjiang, and Zhigansao. So Futsa and ganjiang both appear here because they have this ability to rescue collapsed yang. What sticks out here with ganjiang is that this herb also warms the lung. We don't have a lot of herbs that have this function, so we want to pay attention here. This is that profuse, copious, thin white phlegm that's bubbly, foamy, or stringy. Again, not a lot of herbs have this function, so that makes ganjiang very special in this regard. The third of our hot herbs is rogui, cinnamon bark. Similar to Futsa, this one warms the kidney, warms the middle jiao, warms the channels. But notice that this one does not have that function of rescuing collapsed yang. But what is special about rogui is it has this ability to guide heat to descend, or we could say anchor floating yang. The idea here is when kidney yang is deficient, that yang floats up and harasses the heart, causing certain shen problems like anxiety, restlessness, insomnia. Our diagnosis here is kidney and heart not communicating. So in this situation, we can use rogui internally or apply it externally to the bottom of the foot at kidney 1. Finally, rogui, by virtue of its yang properties, has something to do with aiding in the generation of qi in blood. So we can see that in addition to being acrid, this herb is also sweet in flavor, but we don't really say that it has a direct action of tonification. Instead, we can combine it with tonifying herbs, and rogui's warming yang nature will assist those herbs in tonifying qi in blood. Next is Zhu Yu. This one warms the middle jiao, and its specialty in warming the middle jiao is calming rebellious stomach qi and stopping vomiting. A way to remember this is Zhu Yu sounds like would you, so you can say Zhu Yu stop vomiting. This one also warms the liver channel, treating pain due to cold stagnation, things like painful menses or Shan disorder, that is hernia pain, pain and contraction of the testicles. Like rogui, this one can also descend floating heat, but it can only be used externally for this purpose, never internally. The rest of the herbs in this category are like spices that we tend to use in cooking, and most of them just warm the middle jiao. So Galangal is Galangal Root. It's a root similar to ginger. Warms the middle jiao, and if we wanted to say anything special, we could say it warms the middle jiao to stop pain. Huajiao is Sichuan peppercorn, also commonly used in cooking. This one warms the middle jiao, but it's also useful for killing parasites, both roundworms and fungal infections. So this one, you boil it, then you can use it externally as a wash or as a soap to treat fungus infection. Dingxiang is clove. It warms the middle jiao. If we wanted to say anything special, it's good for rebellious stomach qi. It also goes to the kidney channel and warms kidney yang, but honestly it's not commonly used for that purpose. The only other exciting thing here is it can be used externally for toothache. So you just take a whole clove, put it in your mouth, and hold it next to the tooth, and supposedly it has some numbing effect. Xiao Wei Zhong is fennel seed. It warms the middle jiao to stop pain. It also warms the liver channel to stop pain. In fact, we have a formula called Tian Tai Wu Yao San, which is specifically for hernia pain due to cold in the liver channel, and Xiao Hui Shang is in this formula for that purpose. Bi-ba is long pepper. It warms the middle jiao, and if anything special, it's good for diarrhea. Hu jiao is just pepper, like the kind you put in a shaker next to the salt. It can be either black pepper or white pepper, and it warms the middle jiao. That's about it. So those are the herbs in this category, just an overview. The first 3 herbs, Zhifutsa, Ganjiang, and Rougui, these are what we call the 3 hot herbs. The first 2, Futsa and Ganjiang, treat yang collapse. Futsa and Rougui are the ones that warm the kidney and warm the channels. Ganjiang is our main herb for warming the middle jiao, and it also has that special function of warming the lung. Not a lot of herbs do that. Rougui has additional functions of descending floating heat, treating that kidney and heart miscommunication, and it also helps with the generation of qi in blood. Zhu Yu is especially useful for treating nausea and vomiting, so we say, Zhu Yu, stop vomiting. It also warms the liver channel. The rest of the herbs in this category are spices, and they all pretty much warm the middle jiao. Galangal Root is especially useful for stopping pain. Hua jiao has an additional function of killing parasites, treating fungus infections. Dingxiang, clove, can treat toothache. Xiao Wei Zhong, fennel seed, warms the middle jiao to stop pain, and warms the liver channel to stop pain. Bi-ba, long pepper, warms the middle jiao for diarrhea. And hu jiao just generally warms the middle jiao. So that was it for this category. Hopefully this is helpful, and hopefully we'll have more videos coming soon. Be well.